God. And I'm not minimizing studying, but at the same time, there comes a point that either you believe it because it's the power of God or you don't. Anybody knows me, I love to study, I love to grow, I want to learn. I'm set my heart to be a lifelong learner. But at some point, you need to learn the ways of the Spirit versus just always getting that thing in your head and always having to make sense of everything. There are some things that have happened during this meeting that boggles my theology. And my theology needed boggling. Because I'd rather move with Him than to move with my head. So I got to asking the Lord, what is it that you're going to do? How is this blessing going to impact people to impact people? What's it going to do in this group? Now, I had a nice sermon. You thought the last one was good? I had a good one. Preacher's material. The Lord said there's three things that is going to happen as a result of the blessing of the Lord. When we release this blessing, it's going to produce three things. He said it's going to produce, number one, it's going to produce uncommon wisdom. Wisdom. It's the same thing that I have prayed over my family, over my life, over those that are close to me, over those that the Lord leads me to pray for. I pray this all the time, that the Spirit, everybody say the Spirit of wisdom and revelation. The first thing that's going to happen is we're going to have an uncommon wisdom. In other words, and I don't mean knowledge. Knowledge is the gathering of facts. It is the acquiring, the accumulation of facts. Wisdom is the proper application of knowledge. Have you ever been in a place where you didn't know what decision to make? The reason is the absence of wisdom. And we're coming into a season that the blessing of the Lord, when it gets on you, you're going to know what decisions to make. Without question. If you look to your head, you look to that filing cabinet, you won't get it. I was digging around one time in a filing cabinet. I knew there was a file I was looking for in that drawer. And I go and I pull that drawer out and I'm going through and I try to go right where it's supposed to be, right? Where it's supposed to be. It wasn't there. Went a little bit behind it, a little bit forward, because you know how some things just get tossed back into a file. So I thought, well, I'll start at the beginning. So I start beginning and go all the way to the back. It's not there. So I thought, I must have missed it. I start at the back. And I move forward. It's still not there. So I'm determined that the file's in the drawer. So I take the whole drawer and I empty the whole drawer. And I take each file. Guess what? File's not in there. I was in the wrong file cabinet. Well, a couple nights later, the Lord had spoke some things to my heart. And I'm laying there in bed trying to go to sleep. But what the Lord has said to me has got me so revved up. I'm thinking, how's He going to get it? Now, if I do it this way, then I can see where He can bring it in this way. And I'm digging around thinking how He can do this. And I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, it's not in that drawer. I heard Him say, it's not in that drawer. How many know your mind was not made to figure things out? How many know your mind was not created for crisis? You get into a crisis and your mind says, oh, sorry, you're on your own, buddy. How many know that to be true? Because your mind was never created to solve a crisis. Your spirit was the one created to solve the crisis. When Jesus was woken up in the middle of that ocean and they said, Master, don't you care that we are perishing? When he got up on the bow of that boat, he didn't try and figure how he's going to get through. He said out of his spirit, peace, be still. And out of his spirit came words of authority and words of power that changed what needed to be changed, and it came out of his heart. How many times have you heard that about the time a born-again believer was about to get into a car wreck, all of a sudden they said Jesus, or they said no, and something happened, and they came out without a scratch on? I want you to know that didn't come out of their head. It came out of that reservoir of power on the inside of them. I'm telling you, God is about to give us a season of wisdom. By the blessing of the Lord, you're going to know how to make correct, right decision in the time you need to make the right decision. Do I invest here? Do I not invest here? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? This is the way I needed to go. And if you keep digging around in your head, trying to find the wisdom of God, it ain't there, friend. I know that's not good grammar, but it's just not there. It's down here. That's where the wisdom will come from. Before decisions, before especially strong decisions, get in the presence of the Holy One. And allow Him to direct you, lead you. Those that are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. Romans 8:15. If you'll lean not to your own understanding, but lean on Him. Commit your ways to Him. He said He'd give you the desires of your heart. Of your heart, not of your head. So that's the first thing. He's going to give us uncommon wisdom. The second one, I said, Lord, what is it? I said, boy, that's a good one. We can just stop right there. We have a good time. I don't know about you, but sometimes that's all I need. I just need some wisdom. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody else. I don't need anything else. Just give me the right wisdom. But you know, God is never just enough. He's never just enough. He's El Shaddai. He's the one that goes over the top. If you want to know about God, one thing about God is He is extravagant. If you're one of these penny pinchers, you're not going to like Him. If you're constantly being a miser, you're not going to like Him because He's lavish. I mean, He sits on a jasper throne. I mean, the cheapest thing around town is gold because they pave the streets with it. I heard one little story about a man who, the Lord granted him a U-Haul to go take with him after he died. He said, oh man, this man was a very wealthy man. He loaded up all this U-Haul truck full of all of his riches and wealth and mainly gold. Just brought a bunch of gold with, boy, I'm going to take all my wealth with me. When he got up to the gate, they said, the angel at the gate said, why did he bring all that pavement with him? You're not going to get very far in heaven to outdo God. How many know He's not going to just stop at wisdom? He's going to do something a little bit more. But how many would like some wisdom? What I mean by wisdom, I'm talking uncommon wisdom, spirit wisdom, the spirit of wisdom and revelation. The second thing is He said He's going to give you